So we are going to turn this into a 2-part special or whatever you want to call it. And we are about to start part 2 with my sister, my homegirl, attorney Lisa Knox. What's up, Lisa?
Hey, brother.
Okay. So it was a lot of questions that I skipped over in part 1. So I wanted to go back and ask you these questions to just continue to pick your brain.
Absolutely. I'm an open book and there's no limits right now. You got me, no limits.
Okay. So what do you find the biggest gripe when it comes to men or women that they complain about when they're getting a divorce?
Money.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Money. So first, well, it depends on if they have children or not, right? Mm-hmm. So they're going to argue about time sharing and visitation. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, not all the time, sometimes it is tied into, I don't want to spend a lot of money for child support. Mm-hmm. Not nearly as much as it's accused to be,
Yeah.
But it is sometimes. Close second is the money. Alimony, arguing about child support in between, arguing about assets and so forth. Mm-hmm. That all boils down to money. Mm. And so that's the close second. Very close second. I've literally had people come to a full parenting plan, like this is when we're going to exchange the children, so forth and so on. And then when child support came out, because child support is based off the parenting plan, so we sort of do that last. When child support came out, then it was, no, I don't want to do this parenting plan. We're not going to do this.
That's crazy.
I need to have, our child more. I need to have our children more because I need more child support, or I need to have them more because I need to pay less child support.
That's crazy. So let's get into child support.
Let's do it.
When it comes to child support, what? Because I feel like there should be a salary cap. I personally feel like there should be a salary cap on child support. If I make $10 million and we know statistically it only costs $100 and something thousand a year to raise a child. Why is it based off of how much I make, depending on how much my child will get?
Well, so here's the funny thing.
Okay.
And I don't think we get into that too often.
We don't.
But there is a cap.
Okay.
There is a cap. There's a theory, it's called birthday pony theory.
Okay.
I want to say something like that, where it's basically if the child, if the parents make over a certain amount of money, right, then there's just a small amount that goes towards the child, a small amount for the difference that goes towards the child, because the child support is to the benefit of the child so that the child is not going from mansion, with one parent to, the projects with another parent, right? So that child can still sort of, live an equal life, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But if the parents' combined income is over a certain amount, well, that child just doesn't need that much. There's no way one child is going to need, $10,000 a month in child support. I'm just throwing this out here, right?
But some of them get it.
Well, and that depends. Now, keep in mind that child support is a state issue. So if you're looking at, what the state does, what California does in comparison to what
Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you're not going to have the same information.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because it's two different states, two different processes.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
If you're looking at that. But if you're looking at, and I'm trying to find it just really quick. I didn't know you were going to go to this question just yet.
Okay. So
I sort of want to look at it because there's a statute, Florida statute 61.30, I believe.
And for future references, I will keep this part in the show because I want people to realize, just like with doctors, I watched this guy on YouTube named Dr. Mike, and he said one of the best things a doctor can tell a person is, I don't know, but let me research it. So that's why I want to keep this in here, because I want people to see that, I don't know that answer, but let me get it for you.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So under 61.30,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And oh goodness, this is a big part here. Bear with me. I'm trying to find the actual section.
No, it's good because, again, like I said, I want people to realize, like, when they tune into this second part, because a lot of people do feel or think like me, and they'll be like, well, why am I paying this much in child support? It's not, and people need to know the law. I think just the same way, because we did a interview last week with her cousin about politics. I think people need to really invest themselves in politics and in law so that they can stop getting raped.
Absolutely. So 61.30, section 6B, it reads for combined. So understanding just the basis that child support is based on combined monthly income minus some statutory
circumstance
costs and fees that are taken out, such as taxes, health insurance, so forth and so on, right? To get the net income, it's the combined net income of both parents, right?
Okay.
Whether it's actual or imputed. People need to know that, whether it's actual or imputed.
And what does that mean?
Imputed meaning that the court or the statute applied a number for your income, right?
Okay. So like if you win a settlement, basically, or something like that?
No. Like if for income, for instance, if people are saying, oh, well, I only make, $10 an hour and I only get to work 20 hours a week. Well, court's going to probably impute it at 40 hours. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. I had a friend who once was told, he was a white guy, by the way, too. He went into court about child support and he had that same argument. Hey, I only make like $10 an hour and I'm working 30 hours a week. And the judge literally told him, you have earning potential.
And that earning potential counts. So
you have earning potential, sir.
That's what we mean for imputed income. So it combines, it takes those combined incomes, and it literally has, if you look at 61.30, it literally has the amounts. Like if the combined income of the parent is $10,000 a month and there's one child, then that child should get child support in the amount of $1,437, per month. So it gives those guidelines, right? And then it says in section 6 is where you'll see the guideline numbers, right? But then section 6B is where it says, for combined monthly net income greater than the amount in the guideline schedule, the obligation is the minimum amount of support provided by the guideline schedule, plus the following percentages multiplied by the amount of income over $10,000. So there is a cap, right?
Okay.
It doesn't. The guidelines don't just keep going. There is a cap, right?
Okay.
Understanding too that oftentimes, so child support is the right of the child, so it's not necessarily waived. It can't be waived, quote unquote.
Okay.
But there are different ways that things that child support can be applied to. So I've seen it to where if it's a lot of income, especially a lot of income disparity, then it's the child support is, whatever the regular number would be, and then the person paying child support pays for all the non-covered medical or all the extracurricular activities. There's different ways that can be done, just depending on what's, and once again, that comes into what's in the best interest of the child.
Okay.
It's very case specific in those situations.
I can dig it. I like that. I appreciate you dropping some knowledge on our listeners.
Absolutely. That's one of the child support is one of the biggest areas I believe that there's this mystery and misconception. And I'd love for people to know about it, to understand it. Y'all
go look up those statutes, man, depending on what state you live in.
Absolutely. That's Florida statute 61.30, section 6B. Now, I will tell you this, if you want to do your own research, but sometimes you might, if you have a child support case, it might behoove you to go ahead and contact an attorney and do a consultation. Because this is not the time when you want to learn law school. I know people see Legally Blonde and all of that. Listen, law school is not something that you can just go ahead and, YouTube University your way through.
Off subject real quick, since you mentioned that, and this is not to crap on anybody because I know every state, like you said, is differently.
Mm-hmm.
With people shitting on Kim Kardashian, like you told me in the state of California, you're allowed to like just go to, I can't remember how you stated it, but it's something to the point to where it's like you can study under a lawyer and skip law school.
Okay, so when he's saying, let me go ahead and clear that up for the Florida bar.
Okay.
When he's saying, I told him, no, I just was reading and I told him what I saw, what I read. Okay?
My bad. I apologize.
But it's my understanding that from what I've read and from what, reading articles about Kim Kardashian and all, that in the state of California, they allow you to do what's called an apprenticeship. Just like, when you're doing an electrician and so forth, you work with someone who is a practicing attorney and they sort of mentor you to teach you law and how it's applied and so forth. Enough for you to pass the bar exam. And I guess that was the way a lot of it was done before they started doing formal law schools and all, and the necessity for LSATs and all that, which really has some racist ties, but we'll talk about that maybe in a different season, a different section.
You can get into it if you want. This is part 2, so we still got a little while.
We might need to go to part 3 on that one. That might be a part tray right there. But in the state of California, my understanding from what I've read is that they allow apprenticeships.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Right. I don't have an opinion. I don't know if you were getting ready to ask me.
No, I wasn't. I just was going off of what like I said in before we interviewed you, and I sent you. I try to send all our guests questions that we'll be asking them, but I also let them know like the questions also will go with the flow of the conversation. So something might come up, like Legally Blonde just came up, so I wanted to let people know that there is sometimes when people take on their own case and, they're able to win sometimes. It happens, not very often, but it happens.
It absolutely happens. And I'm just a big fan, and I was just actually talking with my followers, and I was saying, hey, everybody has the right to represent themselves in the state of Florida. You can represent yourself in whatever. Yeah. Criminal case, family law case, civil case, whatever. You can represent yourself, right? Yeah. If you choose to. But one of the biggest signs, sort of like the big message of go ahead and get yourself an attorney, is when the other side has an attorney. Okay. And I say that because I've had cases where, the other side, I'm representing one side, the other side does not have an attorney. And they feel like, hey, I'm just as smart, if not smarter, than an attorney because I've always been smart. And you may have, but the attorney has some benefit. Yeah. The attorney has some benefit outside of having a bar license to practice law, right, or having gone to law school. There's also some other benefits because remember, judges are always looking at credibility. So who's going to be more credible? The attorney that the judge is familiar with, the judge probably, and remember, most judges are former attorneys, right? So the judge that's familiar with the attorney, who knows how the attorney operates consistently and so forth, or the person that they've never met before. How's the case going to get done? Through the attorney who knows the process and knows how to respond to certain things, the unspoken deadlines, or the person who's trying to learn all of these things as they're doing a case, as they're living their life, as they're doing, whatever they get paid to do.
Now, we've had those kinds of conversations before. Are you willing to get into it about why you feel, because I know you've told me there have been times when people feel like their attorney shouldn't be as chum, friendly with the other attorney or the judge as they are. Can you explain the benefits of your attorney being friends with or knowing the other side or the judge?
Absolutely. I told you, brother, today, right now, it's without limitation. So if if this is the time when you want to ask me what actually happened to your lunchbox in, 8th grade, I'll tell you. I'm releasing everything today.
I knew that was your ass who stole my Urkel lunch back.
As far as that is concerned, and it's so funny, people feel like I hate the other side. My attorney is supposed to be a pit bull and hate the other side too. That is so wrong. It's the So I always think, a good attorney knows the law, a better attorney knows the judge, the best